going to be funny twice. Chicken and circuses, there you go. Good on you. Get to Springfield, people.
No. The line between graffiti and art is getting finer. Fremantle City Council will allow graffiti to stay, provided it has artistic or cultural merit.
So who decides how you separate the two, art or vandalism, or false dichotomy designed to arouse your passions to keep you watching? Let's bring in street artist RJ Williams and anti-graffiti campaigner Alan DeBarge. Good morning to you both. RJ, let's start with you. You got your break by doing street graffiti. Now you're showing at the Art Gallery of New South Wales and the Museum of Contemporary Art. You know, there's been a real move to bring street artists into the fold as such, you know, people like Shepard Fairey and Banksy and Space Invader and all that. In your eyes, what separates graffiti from art?
I mean, graffiti is art. I mean, I think what you're asking is what's the line between graffiti and vandalism?
I suppose that's right, yeah.
You know, because graffiti is just a form of art. It's like saying watercolour or oil paintings. It's literally just a medium.
So what separates it? Is it just the artistic merit of a work that separates vandalism from graffiti?
It's the law. The law is what separates it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing something that's worthy of getting arrested, then that's what the law says, you know?
So if you paint on a building that's not your own, you're breaking the law.
Generally speaking, yeah.
So, but all right, let me put it this way: as a street artist,
sure.
In your mind, what separates a work that you would be perfectly comfortable for the council to paint over, and a work that you would like to stay in situ?
I mean, the same as anyone else. You know, if it's visually appealing, then I think it's great. If it's just scribble and scrawl, well, you know, maybe that'll be the motivation for someone to go and put something beautiful there. In which case, I'm all for it.
Sure.
Some people just need that little bit of encouragement, you know?
Yeah,
fight the beige.
All right. Alan, you're a man who needs no encouragement. You are on a self-funded crusade to clean up graffiti in Western Sydney.
Yes.
What do you think? Is it a form of art?
Well, look, just firstly, I don't want to paint over RJ's work. I think it's fantastic. But if I did paint over his work, that would be vandalism. I think he touched on a really good point. The law is very, very clear, and it's all about permission. And I think that even though they can get permission to paint on a Sydney wall, I mean, you just read Clover Moore, she'll give you permission to develop an application to paint a wall. And, you know, RJ knows about that. But I think the thrill of out at 3 o'clock in the morning tagging your initials or whatever they do is the thrill. And I think that's the core of the issue, not whether it's graffiti or art. That's the core of the issue. Now, those guys are not artists. I mean, it's just rubbish scribble and, you know, on people's fences and council. Yeah.
The tough thing, I guess, Alan, is that, you know, so many works that, you know, were viewed in their infancy as simply vandalism, such as the Martin Luther King mural in Newtown in Sydney, or some of the murals in ACDC Lane down in Melbourne, for example. Yeah. I mean, they were seen just as vandalistic graffiti, but have now become recognised as genuine and iconic works of art. Look, so who makes the decision?
Well, look, Fremantle Council have set a precedent with this new law, or this new policy. They want the people that paint over the graffiti to make the decision and refer it to the council. That's ridiculous. I mean, can you believe? You know, RJ does a piece, a legal piece, and you know, someone from the council that cleans graffiti. Nothing against those people, but I don't think they're qualified to determine whether his art, it's a piece of art or it's a scribble. That's what they've said. They're going to refer it to the council art department, and then they'll come out. But the first person to see the artwork is going to go, oh yeah, but I don't like that. Or there could be a nice piece of work, a good stencil, a bit like Banksy. Yeah.
We're really out of time, but how much pressure is there on art? You're a successful artist now, but how much pressure is there for young people who want to be like you to go out and start tagging things in order to try and get ahead?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from teenage rebellion, and you know, we've all been teenagers and snuck out mum or dad's window and gone off to have some fun in the middle of the night. And I think whether it's a spray can or if it's a Facebook organised riot, I think kids are still going to want to go out and have fun and be rebellious. So I don't think that's something we can avoid. We could ban graffiti altogether, and the kids are still going to want to rebel.
You know what? This debate this morning has been so much more reasonable than I imagined it was going to be. It is such a delight
No, but
to
you're all
see
very
two
civil.
people speaking to each other so
We both
peaceably and
agree that it's a form of art. So, but the stuff that I'm against, I think he's against the same thing.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page with that regard. Yeah.
Raises another question for another time, unfortunately, as to whether or not it's still graffiti art if you're allowed to do it. Is the rebellion an
not as much
essential
fun,
part
is it?
of the art? That's for another time. We've got to move on.
Where to go? RJ Allen, thank you very much.
Thanks
Such a
for having me.
civilised debate. It's what we like to do here on Weekend Sunrise.
No, we don't. We like to inflame people's passions,
Don't
Sam,
argue with
as I
me.
said before.
Just do what you're told. Straight ahead.
If
This
you